yo, we got my boy Maul over here with his first, what did you get?
Top 16.
Top 16 at Nationals. The young hitter over here, Mr. 100 grand himself. You know what I'm saying? With the young, what did you play?
Young Gamma.
Young Gamma. Young Gamma.
Best deck.
High ceiling
Gamma
deck,
best deck.
high skill deck, so you know he's bringing it. You know he's got the energy, he's got the mindset. He was locked in all weekend. Let's get right to it.
Bocam?
Bocam, baby.
Kaboom. All right, guys. So, look, we've played Gamma, and people think Gamma sucks. And honestly, Gamma's a good deck. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people kind of want Gamma.
Who said Gamma sucks?
Right over there.
Whoa.
Number one proprietor.
Number
over
one
there.
hater over
Number
here.
one hater, right. But to hate, they got to love, right? So, either way, people really wanted this Gamma leader to be more like the old Gamma leader. And it can be, and it has moments where it can be better than that in certain situations. And there's obviously some things where it's worse. They're not the same deck. It's just the same name. This easily could have been a cell leader or a something leader that was blue and done the same thing. And maybe people would like it more, pay attention to it more. But it's actually a really strong leader. But let's get into the deck profile. So it's very simple.
Oh, you want to show your leader to us real quick? That
leader.
beautiful SLR.
So this is the Young Gamma SLR. All right.
Now, let me see that beautiful backside. Wait a minute. What's even prettier over here? That top 16 Broly, baby.
Yes,
You
sir.
already know.
Top 16.
You already know. If anybody wants to buy it, let me know. But anyway, back to the video.
Link in the description.
Link in the description, baby, every time.
So let's get it simple. Just move this over here. You get 7 of the little redraws. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth here because it is a new deck with new cards, and a lot of people don't know what any of this stuff does. So for the core, at the very least, I'm just going to actually give a quick rundown. The generic stuff, if you don't know, then I don't know what to tell you. Probably hard. The 1-drops, these are actually very important, which is ironic because I'm only running 7 out of 8. But they are very important because these get you your energy. The long and short of them, when they're popped in your energy, they replace the top card of your deck into your energy. And the deck does a lot of energy manipulation of popping the energy. So these are really strong for that. This guy right here, Android 17, he's the MVP of the deck. He's the best card in the deck. He's probably the main reason to play the deck. Card is really strong. You pay 1, you bounce an energy, a red ribbon, blue red ribbon back from your energy to your hand. So he automatically replaces himself in theory at the cost of an energy, but that doesn't matter. And actually, before I continue, I'm going to actually explain what the leader does because I know no one knows what this leader does. So let me read this. Gamma 2 Unawakened says permanent. Negate the energy exhaust skills on blue-green multicolor red ribbon cards in all your areas. He has an auto when this card attacks, draw a card. His awakened condition is when your life is at 4 or less, or you have 2 or more energy and a blue-green multicolor Z extra in your battle area. You draw 2 cards, add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6. So his awaken is basically you need a Z extra, which means it's a blue-green Z extra. So you do have to see a blue-green energy to awaken, basically. And you can awaken on turn 2. Now when he's awakened, he's actually broken. He's actually a really broken leader. When he attacks, he draws a card. He has an auto at the end of the turn. Send your energy to its owner's warp until you have 3 energy. And add cards from your hand to your energy in rest mode until you have 3 energy. The basic is if you have 4 or more at the end of the turn, you have to warp cards down to 3. If you have 2 or less, you have to take cards from your hand and go back to 3. So basically, you always reset to 3 energy at the end of your opponent's turn. Now, what's busted about this leader is his activate main. It's once per turn, you can add 2 blue red ribbon army cards from your hand to your energy, not rested, and then you can't play non-red ribbon cards, battle cards for the turn, and that's specifically battle cards. So basically now with this, you reset to 3 and it's fine. Your turn you get to charge to 4, and then you get to ramp 2 energy from your hand. So you get to play with 6 energy every single turn for the remainder of the game. Your opponent could be at 2 energy and you get to have 6. It's actually just silly. So that's what the leader does. But so to continue, the Android 17. Why he's the MVP? That energy that you need to reset, instead of warping it all, you get to add it back to your hand. So you get the draws, so you don't have to warp 3 at the end of your turn or 2. You actually get them, bounce them back to your hand. So on play, he bounces energy back to your hand. He has an activate main, which is very important. He can pop any energy to draw 2 cards. Just busted, right? That's what he does. And then his best friend is this trucker guy. But more importantly, he can pop these 1-drops, draw 2 cards, and then they would replace themselves. So then now you don't lose an energy for it just because you wanted to draw 2. But his best friend is this guy. He can pop. This guy is a lot. He has an activate battle. He can pop any energy to give anything plus 10k for the battle. That's the simple effect. The complicated effect is when this card is destroyed in your energy, you can pay 1 energy to special summon this guy and draw a card. And I know it sounds like, okay, well, that's pretty simple. But he also replaces the top energy of your deck. But that's pretty much just all this text is to explain that. Is when this guy's card is destroyed, pay 1, draw a card, replace the energy, you have a 20k. And you get the access to every battle. Really strong card. Next card in the list is the Android 16. Very simple. Double striker. Pay 2 energy, play him. Doesn't do anything. 20k double. Activate main. Another really cool activate main effect. You can bounce any red-blue android, red ribbon android, to your hand from your energy to bottom deck any of your opponent's battle cards. No energy restriction or anything, just bottom deck. So, and at the end, at the end of your turn, you untap 1 energy. It's really, really strong. You get him to stick. Next card in the deck is very, similar to him, but she's okay. Same thing. You pay an energy. You bounce an energy back to your hand. She has an activate battle / main. You can pay 1 to place 1 energy from your and place 1 energy into your drop to untap any blue red ribbon battle card. So basically, she can kind of give anything dual attack for the cost of 1. A Suedo dual attack. I never do that effect because I don't want to pay 1, to be honest. The other card, really strong card in the deck, Cell Max 8. Really powerful card. He has every important keyword in the game. Deflect, double strike, barrier, and blocker. You pay 4 to play him from your energy. Is the only way to play him. When he's played, you bottom deck a card. At the end of your turn, you untap an energy. And he has an activate main / battle as well. He can pop an energy to restand himself. So you can swing, pop an energy, let's say one of these 1-drops or even a trucker guy, untap him, swing again, or you can leave him as a blocker, but more importantly, you can swing again, pass your turn, your opponent swings, activate battle, pop one of these again, untap him again. So and he has barrier. He's really strong for that. The other boss monster in the deck is Cell 9 from the original Gamma list. He is very strong as well, wipes the board, taxes your opponent for any negates they use. You guys know what this card does. Other really strong card is Broly. To me, is the MVP in the deck. Should always be in the deck. He's another form of 16, but he is removal, and there's no restriction to play him to get the removal. He just pay 2, bottom deck anything. Floodgate, Android 14. Another Floodgate. This card is really broken in the meta because everyone barely plays 1-drops or 2-drops in their deck. Other card made for the deck is Gamma 2.
Well, I'm sorry, I hate to interject, but I ain't gonna hold you. I'm like 5-6 marks deep, a cocktail and a glass of wine. So my hand's a little shaky. I can explain, but
I just see so many cards, right?
I'm struggling a little bit.
I'll rush through it a little bit. We're almost done. It's all regular cards.
We're only halfway through.
No, this is all regular cards.
Right.
So the Gamma, he's important to explain. He is a dual attack and a blocker. Once per turn, you can pop an energy to beam any red ribbon card for the turn. And his activate battle to play him is pay 1. Your opponent pitches a card. That's how you play him. Next card in the deck is the Cell. The Cell is busted. He has 2 effects. He has an activate battle. He can be comboed from your energy. He's a 110 from your energy at any time. Limit 1. His other effect is basically if he's comboed, on your turn only, you could pay 2 to play him at the end of the combo and bottom deck one of your opponent's card, and technically you can rent from your hand, or not rent, you play an energy card from your hand to your energy, but no one does that. The dual attacker, old card, good energy exhaust, dual attacker, bottom deck less. A really cool attack in the deck is the Draw Apes. Draw Apes actually is important because it gives you another version of Android 17. Sometimes you need to see more cards. You are losing a lot of cards, and you do need a way to get them back. Next card is the super combos. It's just Android 8. You want to draw, and then Zeno in case you put your good cards that are not red ribbon into there, especially your SCR.
Look at those judge stamps. Wait, it's not level 2. Put it back.
Yeah, sorry.
This is all
Sorry to
for all of
disappoint.
us.
Simple 4D Magic, trolling if you're not playing 4. Being is kind of mid to me. It's lackluster, but it does synergize well with the Gamma and some of your other effects. And another Floodgate actually is Protector to People, which is what makes Being even stronger in the 4-drop Gamma, because you can get 5k, 5k, and then every time they swing more 5ks. It makes this a lot stronger and a lot better of a Floodgate than it's ever been. A really spicy tech in the deck. It's not the main strategy, but it's a strategy. Is the Bardock that I know a lot of people know about. This card, if anyone doesn't know, long and short, you can combo it to restand your leader and negate its skills for the turn by Spirit Boosting 2. Why that's important is, how I said earlier, the leader lets you charge to 6, basically. You lose and reset back to 3. The thing is, if you play Bardock Spirit Resonance and Spirit Boost and untap your leader, it negates his skills. So if you have the 6 energy or 5 or whatever, you don't reset. So you get to play another turn with all that energy. And why that's so good for this in this combo is if you're at 6 and you play this and go to 6, you can play Perfect Force Cell the next turn, because you get your turn back. You're at 6, you charge to 7, and now you can drop this and still charge 2 cards from your hand. With the leader skill to still play with 2 energy on your turn to maybe play something else to close the game out. Why this is better? Turning the Tide is an option, but turning the Tide, I don't want to lose my own hand. And obviously, best SCR in the game, Hatch. Ends turns, wins games all day. When I had it, I won every game I had it in my hand. I lost every game. I didn't lose every game I didn't have it, but every game I had it, I 100% won that game. Especially against Pan. I played Hatch, he died the very following turn. So that's the main deck. It's very simple, very what it's going to be. Side deck, honestly, is kind of just thrown together. That needs a lot of work, but I'll still show it to you guys. And I'll do that very quickly. It's 2 Koits. Koits is Koits, cooler, whatever. Tapion, you have to respect Gogeta Aegis, and that's really why it's always there. It's actually really good against Go Namiku, because they play ground shaking, and you can kill it without having to pitch 3. I did play against one, but I didn't side it in because I didn't respect that he would play it, but I did end up winning that matchup. Let the battle begin. Really strong against Nuova, really strong against Red Vegeta. Oob, really, really strong against...
Probably pretty good against Gamma as well.
It's also probably... Yeah. No, all the Gamma cards have deflect.
Well, no, because... do they?
They all, except the Gamma 1 and 2 is the only one.
That's a good card, though, but continue.
The 17 has deflect.
Yeah.
Oob, really good against Nuova. That's really the main deck that has to Z-charge. So I think it's really just that. You don't want to play it in the main. That's why you play Broly, because people can play and still play around his card. Jiren, you got to respect 17. I don't care.
I told you to stop trolling, bro.
I don't care what anyone says. You need it. You have to respect it. And if you see the Nationals run, you had Bojack going to turn 7 and throwing down, turning the Tide in their sideboard. You had Soul Striker in there, almost undefeated the whole day, if not all undefeated the whole day, playing turning the Tide. You have to respect it. It's there. We live in a red meta, which makes blue stronger. It is what it is. You get caught. I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. If I see blue, I'm siding it. Prospect, because we have Z Unisons and it's a pretty okay Floodgate if you set it up. Gamma is kind of complicated because you don't really take a lot of turns off to set up your Unison, which is probably just player diff and my fault. Absolute Release Ball, amazing. I did this. Maybe it lost me a game, maybe it doesn't, but it's really cool. You get to untap your energy and negate the 3 or less, bounce it to your hand, that's fine, but it can be free. And then Redundant is the blue gen. I think it needs to be one or the other, not both. I'd probably just play 3 this. There's an argument to play this instead because it's comboable. And you could play it earlier, but then you have to leave the blue-green up, where at least I did have this in my hand, and I only had a marker.
I think it's Release Ball, bro.
For sure, because I had this in my hand. I only had a marker, and I needed to counterplay, and I couldn't because it was a marker, so it's not green. And if I could have actually used the marker, used Release Ball, tap the marker, you pop the marker, and then actually get a real energy back.
You don't even need the marker for the Release Ball. It's free 99.
I couldn't do it for free at that point or something. I didn't want to take the life.
Bad player alert.
The real hotness, honestly, in the deck, and shout out to my mans who put me on, is, and I want to up this, is Zeno Cosmic Fury. Zeno Cosmic Unison. This card is amazing. Against very specifically Nuova. This card kind of ruins their day. It literally says you pay 5, you -5, you wipe the board, the battle area, including their Z extra. So they sit there and they'll play their Z extra, and Nuova only allows you to play 1 Z extra in the Z deck. So you take off their plus draw. They still get the draw for leader, but it's no longer a plus and free for the rest of the game. And they're always on the back foot now, trying to figure out everything's a 1-for-1 draw. So you really, really hurt them, and you're already an aggressive deck that it's not getting the free draws anymore. It really sets them back. This card's amazing. I resolved it one time. I did play 3 Nuova. I only got to resolve it one time. And when I did, you asked the guy, he was like, bro, just... So that's the side deck. I mean, yeah. A lot of things I would actually change in there. Let me be honest with you. The Z deck is actually important in this because it's actually what the deck relies on using a lot. You play 2 of the Justice Impact or Bocam, whatever you want to call it. Your Awaken condition. This card is busted. It gives you the energy exhaust removal on your leader because you lose it when you awaken. You can pop 2 energy and wipe the board. KO your opponent's board. It's one-sided removal. You remove this, you wipe the board. It's just crack. So if you get into a bad situation, you need to get a dark hole. You have a dark hole, one-sided dark hole. The board is busted. Play 2 of those. Love this unison. It's your barrier removal. You don't care about tapping 4 for this when you go to 6 every turn and untap. It's pretty simple. Stronger together. Hand gets too out of control. So if you need to wipe the board but want pressure, you have to lead with these cards first before you lose leader skill. This card's broken because it untaps energy, and it's a 200 card for a reason. Beerus, just I never played this, and honestly never played this, but I played this every game, and I played this. One of the best new cards. You're gonna see it a lot in a lot of blue profiles coming up. This card is amazing. It does a lot. It has double strike, has blocker. When it swings, you can add any blue android from your energy to your hand, which synergizes really well with the deck. Has a +1, and I always get these confused. You can bottom deck anything and then untap her at the end of the turn for her +1, or you can 0 her to make your opponent bottom deck a card from their hand and then untap an energy. And that's really it. That's the list. There's nothing really more to it. It's a lot complicated. It's a very high ceiling deck, very hard deck to play. But that's the list. So
what are your matchups, bro?
I played U7, and I had kind of he luck sacked me, and he knows he did. We talked about it, but it is what it is. I played U7. I played a Vegeta. He's playing all the anti, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now.
I did it too.
You did it too.
Yeah, I pressed the power volume button.
Yep. So he was playing all the anti-blue cards. He's playing Cunning. He's playing Raditz the Oppressor. If you untap an energy with not an Awaken skill, they can destroy one of your energy. Which is kind of bad when I think about it, because I just ran back to 3 anyway. Like, you can't ever make me lose energy with this deck. So you can pop it, and then I might lose cards from my hand, but it's either way. I never walked into it. I just killed it. He played the anti-D Magic. People think Cunning really hurts this deck. It doesn't. I don't have to untap on my turn at all. I have Zeno, and we have Zeno D Magic. It's irrelevant. I played a Nameku. I played 2 Nuovas, and I played a Pan. And it was Jason Scott playing Pan, so like a known Pan player. That's all he plays. Hatch won me that game handily. I felt bad for him.
What was the hardest game, though, bro?
Hardest game was probably I played the Cost, the last round for Swiss. The hardest game, but I don't know if it was the hardest game because I beat a Nuova. It's just I drew terrible and he drew great. So if we want to say like hardest, none of the games were hard. It just came down to them drawing better I'm gonna be honest, a lot I whiffed. I didn't awaken until turn 3. I didn't see blue greens. It just was what it was, and I still won those games. None of the games were like, oh my god, this is a struggle. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose, or this deck's not working. Every matchup felt great. Like, it just came down to they might have been able to cheese me, or I just got screwed over by my own draws. So, and then top 16. More importantly, I got to play against Jared Lopez, and he's playing his cell deck. And I call excuses on stream. You can watch it. There's a lot going around with him cheating, saying he cheated me, and he did some things. I'm not going to talk about it, but
kind of already talked about it.
I'm not going to say what it is, though. I don't.
Yeah,
it's not intentional. I don't say he cheated me. Yes, he did an illegal play, which is technically cheating, but he didn't do it to cheat. He wasn't trying to cheat. He genuinely, and I wholeheartedly shout out to Jared. Great guy. It wasn't like that. I was on the back foot. He drew perfect. I didn't. Judge saw his hand while he was drawing. Whole time he told me, he said, I'm going to be honest, I was watching his draws and they were just nutty. 3 dormant, 4 super combo, 2 solidarity. Everything you needed to see. Top deck the solidarities, both of them. For me, I showed my hand on stream. I went to 1 life. I survived at 1 life for 3 turns. So, like, say what you want. The deck has a lot of resiliency. I played 1D Magic the entire game. And I saw 1D Magic the entire game. It is what I saw. 0 super combos.
That's how blue goes, man. Really.
I didn't see a single extra card. You see all the extra cards in the list. I didn't see a single thing that wasn't the engine of the deck. I didn't see a single generic blue card. I didn't see anything but the engine. And he saw his whole engine. He saw everything he needed to see. And the game still was elongated. And it came down to him having 1 more turn, which I technically could have got a turn after that, but it is what it is.
I'll be real with you. Every game I play with blue where I don't see more than 1 D Magic, I just lose. It's pretty rough.
It could have been D Magic. It could have been a Bean. It could have been a super combo. It could have been a Broly. It could have been any generic blue card, and I could play the game. It just, I'm drawing my card. It's 1 drops and just engine. Whatever you see at the top row in the video, that's what I drew that game. And I looked at at the end of the game. He wins. Cool. Shout out to Jared. I look at my deck. 3 D Magics are stuck together. Literally, the whole bottom row of my deck, the bottom half was gas. Like if that was the top, I think I 100% win that. 1000%. But I didn't. So it is what it is. And we get top 16 and don't get our sheet. So.
All right, I got some quick questions for you.
Okay.
Yes.
First question, would you lower the list below 60?
No.
Second question, Bocam or Justice Impact?
I like Bocam, but I like the way Justice.
Throwing this video
No
out.
one's listening to my explanation. That's weird. Good talk. Next.
Next question.
That's it.
That's
Is that
it?
That's
That's
your
all I got.
question?
Beautiful.
Most importantly was Bocam and Justice Impact.
That's valid.
Yeah,
I think it's Justice Impact, but I like the name Bocam.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. The artwork is obviously better.
I appreciate you all. You got anybody you want to shout out, Big Dog?
Yeah, for sure. I want to shout out the boys, young Raymond Sierra, Fusion World Worlder, young Will. You know what I mean? He came in top 32 himself. So did young Ray. Deck list coming soon for both of them. Of course, shout out to my partner, business partner, also teammate behind the camera himself, Max Ringle.
What's happening, baby boy?
You know what I mean? So, and then shout out to the boys at home that couldn't make it, the ones we lost along the way. Young Daniel, young Dobby, and young Petrillo. You know what I mean?
That's what happens. You're going to be a full-time father.
Yeah, it's
Or,
weird. I don't know. Trying to show everyone up, being the best dad they can be. I don't understand. You know what I mean? You gotta stop embarrassing us, please. Thank you.
Hey, well, that's the one we're selling, bro. Give it back.
It's the one you gave to me.
That's the one we're selling.
Well, I can still show it.
Hold it
We
up.
showed it earlier.
He wants to see it.
Mr. Top.
You want to show it again?
So,
Okay.
and then also, very, very more importantly, last but not least, shout out myself.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I like that guy.
Fair enough.
I like that guy.
And then we're gonna have to shout out Dimension Magic Games. All right, we did it, right? We did it together. We came together as a team. Definitely throughout these years, it's been growing and doing what we got to do, coming together, finding good people, great testing, great conversations, theory, everything, you name it. I'm gonna be honest with us. You ain't rocking with us. I don't know what you're gonna do what you're doing with your life, because for real, we put out the sauce, we got the stuff, we know what we're talking about, and it's all great players and all great ideologies and just grinding it out, talking it out, figuring it out.
Well, my hand started to shake more.
So
getting
whatever it
awkward.
is, you know what I mean? Shout out, love to you guys, love to everyone else. Tune in, lock in with us. Let's keep it moving. All right?
But appreciate you all. We'll see you at the next one.
Yep.